Well, died to a cheater a bunch of times. Yeah, I know it's you, FBI. I saw the name. Don't try to deny it either. I know it's you. Haha, you're so funny. Lol. You're rank 26, dude.
Dumbest idea ever.
And with the number of people who have sent me this video to respond to, I cannot wait to hear your reasoning. Like, my Twitter DMs are open for the sake of people sending me videos to respond to, and I cannot tell you how many people sent me this video in a 24-hour span. Like, this is my most requested video. So color me excited.
Oh my goodness.
Why is the audio in your intro so muffled? Like, hear that again. Listen to his voice, then listen to his intro music.
Dumbest idea ever. Oh my goodness.
Like, am I crazy, or is the intro music way lower quality than everything else?
So, if you guys don't know already, which I'm sure many of you do, God of War, a 4-year-old game, has now launched on the PC.
If it's a 4-year-old game, why do you care? You're either saying the game doesn't matter because it's 4 years old, or something, the game's 4 years old, the game's not good because it's 4 years old. Like by pointing out the fact that the game is 4 years old, you're really just making yourself look more like a baby. Like, if the game isn't good anymore after 4 years, that means the game wasn't good. And if the game is good after 4 years, you should be happy more people get to experience it. Oh, and just so we're on the same page, I have that plugin that shows you how many dislikes videos actually have, because, you know, YouTube hides dislikes now. Let's take a look at where this one's at. Not doing too great, huh?
Something that I was vehemently against, all right? Vehemently against.
It's pronounced vehemently.
And I'm thinking to myself, how did this happen?
Sony wants money. That's how it happened. Also, actually, no, that's not even how it happened. The devs wanted the game to go to PC, and Sony wants money. That's the ultimate irony of this. All you guys saying that the PC players are port beggars, or we're just fucking begging for games, yet your own devs are the reason this one happened.
Whose bright numbskull idea was it to release Game of the Year exclusive IP to the PC?
The people that made the IP.
Whose bright idea was this? And I'm thinking, I finally come across this IGN article, which Cory Barlog, all right? And don't get me started with Cory Barlog.
Yeah, you must hate Cory Barlog. Cory Barlog's been advocating for PC ports for years. Like, years now. Cory Barlog, this game's creative director, I think, he's been advocating for games to go to PC. He doesn't like exclusivity. It's just so funny to me that you're taking this game, you're holding this game in such high esteem while actively shitting on every person who made it. Because you're a corporate shill. And also just kind of an asshole.
Somehow, this mofo happens to have a child, and he just becomes all retarded and has a freaking Kratos has a child. Then the process of him having the child, we don't play that. We don't play anything as far as him, Kratos, actually find a woman to marry and reproduce with.
Okay, so do you like the game or not? Because now you're just talking shit about the game. You just said the game was Game of the Year, and it's a bad idea for the game to go to PC, so you must really like the game. You want that game to preserve the game on the original platform. You're one of those fuckers. But now you're just throwing insults at the game itself and the guy who made it. And you also threw in a certain word that starts with R that I can't figure out if people are actually offended by it or not.
Okay, we don't play any of that. We play him with this bastard child or whoever this child is.
In The Witcher 3, you don't play through Ciri's adoption process. In Call of Duty 4, you don't play through Soap's entire boot camp experience. In Doom, you don't play through Doom Guy's prepubescent years where he learns to run really fast and hold 50 guns at once. There's a common saying in storytelling and just story crafting in general. Is what you are showing me the most interesting part of the character's life? And if not, why aren't you showing me that? We don't see Kratos get a wife and physically have the child because that wouldn't be very interesting compared to what the game is about. And granted, I don't even like God of War 2018. I might try it again once it goes on sale, but I played it a while back. I just couldn't get into the gameplay. I thought the story was good. I thought the presentation was good. I could not get into the gameplay because the field of view and frame rate are garbage on the PS4. So I might try it again on the PC once the price drops. But like, you see the point I'm making? Like, are you really saying God of War's story is shit because we didn't see every single piece of what happened before? Or are you just a bitter dick who wants to talk shit about Cory Barlog because he did something you don't like?
We don't even know the child is ours, okay? We don't even know. We haven't had a DNA test. We won't even get into that, okay? We won't get into how Cory completely screwed up the game.
He's like, well, less than a minute ago you said this was Game of the Year, and now you're saying Cory Barlog screwed it up. Well, like, clearly he didn't, though, right?
All right, on many levels, but nevertheless.
I mean, if you want to talk about field of view and frame rate and combat flow, yeah, we can talk about how he screwed it up. Story, I think he did fine.
We come to find out that Sony Studios, many Sony Studios, were the one to advocate for this happening.
Yeah, because believe it or not, when you pour your heart and soul and hours and hours and hours and hours of your life into creating something, it might get on your nerves that that thing is restricted to one platform. Why wouldn't you want more people to experience this thing that you put so much of your life into? This really isn't hard to understand.
All right? They were advocating for, yeah, this is a great idea to release this IP for the PC. Mind-numbing how stupid the people at these studios are.
The people at these studios are stupid because they put a game on the PC, but you wanted it to stay on PlayStation because you are so emotionally invested and emotionally attached to a brand. Let's just take a step back for a second. You are lashing out at extremely talented people who want more people to experience the thing that they made, this piece of art. You are calling them stupid, you called them retarded, all because they wanted more people to experience their game. Just think about that for 5 seconds, assuming you're capable of thinking about something for that long.
Completely mind-numbing how dumb they are and how genius they can be at making games and implementing it in the Unreal Engine. Okay, it's crazy, the juxtaposition.
God of War 2018 wasn't made on the Unreal Engine.
Well, to be fair, maybe not crazy, because most artists, when it comes to business sense, when it comes to business acumen, freaking brain dead, okay?
Yeah, let's trust the publishers with everything. They know better than the artists. The people who had nothing to do with the creative process. Yeah, let's trust them with the creative process.
They can draw a pretty picture and animate when it comes to, hey, what do you think about this business idea? Freaking just squirrels, okay? Squirrels. They're as dumb as squirrels.
Well, we're now officially over 2 minutes into your video and you haven't given a singular reason why.
I don't know what to tell you. All I constantly hear is,
Lucas, it's accessible for everyone. Lucas, what's wrong with making a game accessible? Lucas.
That's right, kids. When you don't have a rebuttal to someone's argument, just repeat their argument in a shitty tone of voice, and you don't have to actually rebut their argument. I fucking hate modern argumentation.
And I'm thinking to myself, what are you talking about?
What are you talking about? Can you tell me? Like, you haven't given a single reason why. Holy shit, this video is terrible.
What are you talking about? First off, let's pause. All this energy about accessibility and blah, 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 blah. I don't play consoles. I don't buy consoles. I only buy PC.
Yeah, most gamers in the world don't have a PlayStation. Here's how many gamers there are in the world. Here's how many PlayStation 4s were sold. And while we're at it, here's how many PlayStation 5s have been sold. Yes, the majority of gamers don't play consoles.
Okay, all that energy, use that for Nintendo, okay? I want all this energy to be focused on Nintendo.
Wait, so you want us to focus the anti-exclusive mentality on Nintendo, but not Sony. So it's a good thing to push Nintendo to not do exclusives, but it's not a good thing to push Sony to not do exclusives. How many boots did you eat this morning?
Because I want you to tell Nintendo to bring Mario to the PC and see what they tell you.
That bullshit!
Yeah, Nintendo's anti-consumer. Thanks for pointing that out. Also, we just emulate all their games anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
I find it interesting that all this energy is focused on PlayStation.
Yeah, because PlayStation is finally following suit from Microsoft. Like, of course the anti-exclusive energy is focused on PlayStation right now. PlayStation's actually doing a good thing in that regard. Why wouldn't we talk about it?
Okay, we want to overlook Nintendo, but PlayStation, they're the ones that need to bring their IPs to the PC, Lucas. They're the ones.
Nintendo IPs are already on the PC through emulation. And like, if Nintendo announced they were going to put their games on PC, you would get the exact same energy. Like, this isn't hard to understand.
Miss me with that freaking nonsense.
Again, modern argumentation. Argument against the thing that I think? Miss me with that nonsense. It is nonsense because I declared it so. Address the criticisms at hand. Holy shit. If you don't like something, explain why. You've not given a legitimate reason why other than, nah, I don't like it.
And secondly, accessibility. This is a 4-year-old game.
Again with the age thing, why does the age matter? It's a 4-year-old game. Why do you want accessibility? Why do you care if it's 4 years old? And then again, like I said before, if the game isn't good anymore because it's 4 years old, that means it wasn't good to begin with.
What are you talking about accessibility? You had 4 years to get a copy of God of War, all right?
No, that's not what accessibility means. Accessibility doesn't just mean you had 4 years to get the game. I could go out and buy God of War at GameStop right now. That doesn't mean it would be accessible to me because I don't have a PS4, nor am I going to give Sony my money for one. Also, if I bought the game on PS4, the accessibility, you had 4 years to get the game. Okay, what controllers can I use on the PS4 version? What frame rates can I run the PS4 version on? What settings of the PS4 version can I adjust? You're complaining about people not owning PS4s and using that as the accessibility argument, which is just wrong.
Miss me with that nonsense.
Again, criticism I can't respond to? It is nonsense, I have decided. Fuck off. How the fuck do you have almost 400,000 subscribers?
And furthermore, God of War was released on the PS5 and the PS4.
God of War was not released on the PS5. It was released on the PS4, and then there was a backwards compatibility patch on the PS5, or like the enhancement patch on the PS5. So if you want to get technical about it, the game wasn't even exclusive to PS4 anymore. But also, isn't that interesting? How some people wanted to play this PS4 game on the PS5 for better game performance. What other platform could do that?
The same thing with Miles Morales, PS5 and the PS4.
No, that Miles Morales was actually a multiply. God of War was not a multiply. Stop equating those two.
In many cases, these games were actually held back in order to make it accessible for those who couldn't access a PS5. And you want to tell me in these 4 years you couldn't access a PS4?
I could access a PS4, but I chose not to. Because I don't want to buy a stupid piece of plastic that forces me to pay $60 for games, $50 to play online, pay a few $100 for the box itself, when I already have a machine that's open, on a marketplace that's open, with hardware that's upgradable, performance that's better, games that are cheaper, a bigger library of games. Like, I already have my preferred platform. I wasn't going to buy a PS4 for this game, because I don't care that much. What's your argument for PS4 players who wanted to play Halo? Like, if Halo were to come to the PlayStation, would you give this exact same rant? No, of course you wouldn't.
That's what you want to tell me? Miss me with this nonsense, all right?
Stop saying that. You haven't explained how a single one of these things is nonsense. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you haven't debunked a single point, but you're acting like you have. Like I said before, repeating the argument in a shitty tone of voice is not a substitute for actually debunking the argument. There's a reason you are getting ratioed to hell and back with this like to dislike ratio, despite dislikes being private.
It has nothing to do with accessibility.
It literally does have to do with accessibility, which is why the devs themselves wanted it to come to PC. How are you missing this?
Because you guys had more than enough time to access a freaking PS4 to play God of War, if that's what you really want to do. And you want to tell me these people were so anticipating, hey, I want to support the developers. Have you heard that nonsense?
Oh, Lucas, I want to support the developers. That's why.
Yeah, I hear that all the time. I have mutuals who literally bought this game to support the developers. I'm on the verge of doing it myself. Like, I wasn't expecting to buy it until there was a price drop because I don't want to drop $50 on this thing. I don't know, that just seems steep. But even then, I might drop $50 for it. Fuck it. You know, I want to encourage this stuff to keep going. So yeah, I might pay more than I originally wanted to support the developers.
No, if you wanted to support the developers, you would have gotten a PlayStation console.
No. Buying a PlayStation console benefits Sony. Sony is not the developer. Buying a PS4 benefits Sony. Buying the game benefits the developers. And if I don't have a PS4, why would I buy a PS4 game? Now that this game is on my platform, I have the option to support the developers which I'm going to do. This is not complicated.
That's what you would have gotten. And then you would have then purchased God of War.
You see, you said it yourself. You would have purchased a console, then purchased God of War. In order to support the devs before, I had to buy a different thing that I didn't want and that didn't support the developers. You're glossing right over that. How are you a real person?
Miss me with this crazy cuckoo, caca nonsense. This fluff coming out these mofos freaking their lord butts, okay? Have you ever seen a PC gamer?
Well, here's me. I'm a PC gamer. I like to think I'm in pretty good shape.
These guys are just the freaking dregs of society, of the gaming community. That's what these people are.
You realize that Terry Crews, also known as the peak of human performance, is a PC gamer, right?
So maybe they're right. Maybe getting God of War it wasn't accessible to them because they can't get their large butts out of their house.
PS4 has digital stores, so this really wasn't even a good joke.
Maybe they're right, okay? Maybe that is true. They couldn't access God of War, all right? Because that consists of walking, okay? That consists of some type of movement other than clicking and getting freaking chronic pain from your wrist doing this, okay? Because we all know that's the only movement these PC gamers do.
You can use a controller on PC.
Is this and then this, and that's it.
Because PC gamers are the only people in the universe who masturbate.
That's their life in a nutshell, okay? Now we have such ludicrous, okay, ideas floating in the ether talking about, hey, you want to know what? All PlayStation IP should go to the PC.
I mean, yeah, why not? You're trickling them, so why not release the rest? And the ones that you've been trickling have been performing really, really well.
All PlayStations should have a PC release on day one.
Yeah, because a lot of people don't have a PlayStation, and they're not going to buy a PlayStation. A lot of PC gamers just aren't going to buy a PlayStation. PlayStation games going to PC on day one does not really hurt the PlayStation console's sales, because these are largely separated markets from one another. I mean, you've said it yourself that there's a lot of PC players who didn't have a PlayStation, and how after 4 years they never accessed a PlayStation 4. Yeah, because we didn't want the fucking thing. We're not going to buy it. So us getting a version of the game separate from your console version doesn't hurt you at all, and benefits the developers more. You want to limit the developers' revenue. Let that sink in. You want developers to make less money, because it personally offends you that PC gamers also get to play this game. And you're presenting this like there's nothing wrong with it. You're presenting this like we're the bad guy for wanting to give developers money. Developers that you say you like, but then called Cory Barlog a retard because he gave Kratos a son? Newsflash, original Kratos had kids too. Why do you think his skin is so pale?
What? What?
Mr. Garrison, haven't you figured it out? Timmy's retarded.
If that happens, you want to know what I want? I want a letter from Sony, okay? Dear TheAmazingLucas, okay? Dear PlayStation owner, dear PlayStation 5 owner, f*** you. Sincerely, PlayStation. That's what I want.
I would lose my mind if they actually did this. Like, I would lose my mind.
Okay, I would like that in the mail, okay? That's not too much to ask. That's all I would need. Or an email. That is the dumbest thing I can possibly imagine.
I am almost 6 minutes into his video, and you are yet to give a legitimate reason why this is dumb. You've thrown how many insults at the developers? You've thrown how many insults at Sony? You are yet to give a legitimate rebuttal to any singular point. And we're almost 6 minutes in to a 9-minute video.
Because at that point, why would I even have a PS5, right?
Because of all the other things that you can do with a PS5? Like, why does this just fly over people's heads? If all games were on all platforms, then the platforms themselves would have to compete with each other. Who has the better hardware? Who has the better pricing? Who is more, comfortable? What UI do you like the best? The most popular games on both the Xbox and the PlayStation are multi-platform. If every game was multi-platform, then the platforms would have to improve themselves, and that would make the industry better.
Why would I get the next console? Right? What? That doesn't make any sense to me. For what purpose? I would just get a PC. And we all know if it's on PC, it's eventually going to get pirated. We all know. We just have to wait for it to be cracked.
Because piracy and stealing games doesn't exist on consoles. Nope, that never existed. What?
So if you think, me spending $80 or whatever, or how much ever they want to charge, okay, $70, $80 depending on the edition that comes out.
It's 50. Like, it's $50 on Steam.
Or me waiting, I don't know, maybe 2 to 3 days until it gets cracked and paying nothing? What do you think most people are going to do? And miss me with
They support the developers. Support the...
people, okay? Miss me with that nonsense.
You just said most people are going to pirate the game. Most people are going to get this game pirated instead of paying for it. And when you offered a rebuttal to your own argument, you said it was nonsense. I would pay so much money to see you in a live debate.
People are about supporting their pockets, okay? The only people I notice who say this are kids living in their mom's basement, all right? Support the developers, they can support the developers.
Hi, hello, I'm a PC gamer. I live in a house with my wife. I'm telling you to support the developers.
So it's not gonna help the developers because you also have to take into account pirating, which guess what?
Did you really just say piratey?
God of War is currently being pirated.
And how many used copies of God of War were bought on the PS4? Like, you realize used console games benefit the developers just as much as a pirated game sale, right? Developers don't get money from used game sales.
Duh, congratulations, you played yourself.
No, I just played games. Sorry, I don't know why I thought that was funny. That was a dumb joke. I'm gonna cut that out.
And then lastly, all these PC players, right? All these PC players talk like they have the top end, the top tier of PC desktops.
I mean, I have a 2070. It's pretty nice. I like it. I'm still playing at 1080p, which you still play at 1080p? Yeah, most people still play at 1080p. Stupid straw man.
They don't, okay? I don't know why people are talking about PC. Most of these fools don't have a PC powerful enough to run God of War on Ultra.
Yeah, it's funny that you say that. The God of War port actually doesn't take much to run at Ultra. Like, if you want the game running at Ultra with a decent frame rate, you really don't need super modern hardware. If you want to match this game's console performance, you really don't need super modern hardware at all. And if you want to run it on Ultra, again, you really don't need super modern tech. It's a decent port.
Okay? Because that's the only reason that you would get it.
No, I would get it because I don't have a PlayStation and I want to play God of War. Like, this isn't hard. Like, the only reason you would get God of War on PC is to run it on Ultra. No, the reason I would get God of War is because I want to play God of War.
Okay, it's as far as the graphics, the graphical comparison. And if you look at the graphics, yeah, there's a difference between the PS5 and the PC, but you're not going to be able to experience it, okay?
Yeah, you're not either.
Because you don't have a 5,000 or 4,000 PC.
Shut your fucking face if you think that's how much it costs to make a powerful PC. Again, you don't need super modern tech to run this game on Ultra. And even if you wanted to get super modern tech, you're not spending anywhere close to 4,000.
You dummy. All these freaking mofos acting like they're all PC elitists. No, you're a PC pleb.
You're a PC pleb because you don't have an ultra expensive gaming PC. That's a nice pro-consumer attitude to have. You definitely understand the PC marketplace.
You're a PC peasant, okay? Most of you don't even have a 3090 or anything close to that, all right?
Yeah, and you played this game on the PS4. Like, what? What are you saying right now? You don't have high-end tech either.
Talking about, well, we need to release it on PC. Why?
For more sales and more people to experience this game that they wouldn't have played otherwise. The end.
Why? You're not going to see any graphical difference on your monitor, okay? You're not. A very small percentage will, but it's not you. The majority won't.
A giant percentage of us will, actually. Also, you're only talking about the graphics, like ultra graphics, and like the resolution, I'm assuming. Where's the discussion of frame rate? Where's the discussion of ultra wide and field of view, which I think was the worst part of the original God of War, was the field of view and the motion blur. Like, we can make this game look better than the PS4 version without even matching the PS4 version's actual graphics. And you don't seem to realize that.
So what are you talking about releasing it on PC? Why don't you make better choices with your money and just get a PS4?
Make better choices with your money and give more money to Sony. You are the most anti-gamer person I have heard in a long time. Make better choices with your money by giving your money to Sony.
Okay? That way you could have experienced this game 4 years early instead of waiting to have the same experience that most console players already had.
No, we waited 4 years to get a better experience while you were beta testing it. Also, we had way more games to play in the meantime than you did, so it's not like we were bored.
We're on God of War 2, pimpin'.
God of War 2 isn't out yet, and it's probably coming to PC.
I bet you catch up. Anyways, guys, that's the video. Let me know what you guys think.
I think you're a complete idiot and just kind of an asshole. I honestly want to believe that you did this video just for the clicks and just for the attention, but holy shit, dude. You're kind of the worst. Like, I'm struggling to come up with a conclusion here. So I'm just gonna say that you're the fucking worst. Don't be like Amazing Lucas. Be like Joe from Seattle. Toodles.